So in this short video, I'll just be doing my discussion about Cyno's weapon options. As you can see on the screen, I don't have Cyno yet. You may have seen already. And if you haven't, spoiler alert, I didn't get him. I lost the 50-50, so I didn't get him, and I'm not spending money to get him. But maybe I will have enough wishes before the end of phase 1 to just get my guarantee of him. So then we'll see. But regardless, before I officially get him, regardless, we can still talk about his weapons, right? So of course, his best in slot will be the Staff of the Scarlet Sands. I did not bother pulling for it because I don't even have him yet. If I have extra wishes before phase 1 ends, I might throw a few there and see if I'm lucky. But yeah, let's just quickly talk about what his best weapon options are if you don't have the Staff of the Scarlet Sands. Okay, so I'm going to just basically make it very clear that Staff of Scarlet Sands is a crit rate weapon and he's a main DPS. He's meant to be on the field. Now, unlike Raiden Shogun, who's on the screen here, who needs the energy recharge for her kit and for matching it with the Emblem of Severed Fate, you can probably do it that way too, with the energy recharge and energy Emblem of Severed Fate artifact set for him. You can build him the same as a Raiden Shogun, which is totally a viable option in my opinion. But I think that the whole point of the game developers wanted us to get him to build him out with a Gilded Dreams set of artifacts, right? And then to match him with the Scarlet Sands, of course. So with that being said, then he may not have the extra energy to then go with the Engulfing Lightning. And you may not actually have extra Engulfing Lightnings that you would want to give to him. So I want to put that out too. So this may or may not work for him, but you can build him like a second Raiden Shogun. I think that that's totally viable, and that did cross my mind. Okay, so then moving along, this is my top pick as an alternative, as a 5-star we're talking about, for Cyno. It's pretty obvious. It's because it's a crit rate weapon. This weapon is also technically, and I say this in quotations, air quotes, it's easier to get in the sense that it's been in the game since the very beginning of the game. It's a standard weapon, and you may have gotten it from losing 50-50 on a featured weapon banner as well, right? So then this weapon is not a bad weapon. It's still, to this day, is still a great weapon. It's obviously Xiao's best in-slot weapon, signature weapon. But yeah, it's meant for characters that are meant to be staying on the field for DPS purposes, right? So I think it's great, and this is a great option. Of course, the Staff of Scarlet Sands is going to be Cyno's best in slot, so there's no comparison there. But if you don't have it, like myself, I don't have it, and if I do get Cyno before, with my guarantee, before phase 1 ends for 3.1, then I would give him a Primordial Jade Spear. And luckily, I do have a second one because I got it from losing the 50-50 or the center banner or something like that. So that's, yeah. And because I don't use Xiao, then I didn't bother refining it. So I did keep the second one. Okay, so again, my top pick would be the Primordial Jade Wing Spear if you have an extra one kicking around, right? Or if you're not using Xiao anymore, just take it from Xiao, which is what I'm considering doing too. Just take it from Xiao and then just, because I don't use him either. Okay, Skyward Spine is definitely a great alternative because the passive is easy to proc. It's very straightforward, right? You're going to definitely do a lot of normal and charged attacks, etc. with his kit. So this is a great placeholder weapon. It won't be his best in slot, and it makes him more of a sub DPS versus a main DPS because it's energy recharge. But if you have good emblem pieces lying around, you don't have the Engulfing Lightning, and you want to build him out like a Raiden Shogun, a second version of her, then I think this is okay too, Because if I didn't have the Engulfing Lightning, I would have given this to probably my Raiden Shogun as well. Okay, moving along, Staff of Homa, this is like the best spear in the game, 5-star, because it's the most universal one, right? You get the crit damage, you get the HP increase, and then you get a scaling based on the HP. Like, how can you go wrong with this, right? I mean, Zhongli and Hu Tao love this spear. This spear would work well. Technically, even for Candice, I just talked about her weapon options, although I did not recommend this for her because no one's going to give her a Staff of Homa. Let's be real here. You want to save these for like Hu Tao, Zhongli, and characters that are 5-star nature and that are DPS-y, and also focus on the HP scaling, right? So I wouldn't bother with this for Candice, but I wouldn't mind this on Cyno if I had an extra one. Now, moving along, the catch is an awesome, great weapon that's free in the game. You just have to fish in Inazuma. And this weapon, if you're not giving it to Raiden Shogun or Shangling, which is best for, if you're not giving it to either of those two characters, then give it to Cyno, and that's totally fine. Especially if you're building Cyno like a Raiden Shogun anyway, then I think this is a great option, especially because the burst is where his major kit damage is kind of come from. So this is a great 4-star option. So yeah, the best picks for 5-star are Primordial Jade Spear and maybe Skyward Spine, only because it's easy to use. And then yeah, the catch is a great weapon. I wouldn't mind these support weapons, so we're gonna quickly go over them and gloss over these quickly. But like, you know, Catan, cross spear, Favonius lance, those are okay options. Star glitter, these are okay options. Again, if you're doing the energy, maybe build them out like a Raiden with an emblem set instead of a Gilded Dreams. That's an option, right? Yeah, and then if you're going to go the elemental mastery, I'm going to recommend not doing that because he's going to be on the field most of the time if you're going to use him, and you won't be able to do as many reactions unless you're able to pair him with a teammates that can like leave things on the field or have an effect that's lasting like X number of seconds after they are switched out. So I wouldn't bother with these elemental mastery ones. He is definitely not a physical damage dealer, but you could technically build him that way. So Crescent Pike and Dragon Spine Spear could work, and Dragon Spine Spear here has the opportunity to, you know, give you a little bit of a cryo damage, so then that could maybe create a reaction, a small reaction with the electro from him. So this is an option, but not many people built this out or refined it high, so I don't know that many people have this. And, you know, Crescent Pike is good for like characters like Rosaria, who I have it for, or for like Shangling early game. So like this is not necessarily a weapon that you might still have available that you would want to give to Cyno, but it's an option. Placeholder options would be Blackcliff Pole, but then the passive you have to sustain it by killing enemies, and if you're facing an elite or solo enemy or a boss, you won't be able to get the passive stacks anyway. But it's a great placeholder, and it is free to play friendly because it's available in on a bi-monthly basis in the Paimon shop. And then the Battle Pass weapon, Deathmatch, is a great 4-star option alternative to, of course, the Scarlet Sands and to the Jade Spear, which are also crit rate weapons, right? So along those same veins, this passive is very easy to maintain, obviously, so it's just a given. So I would say this is a great 4-star option, DPS option. So yeah, so that's basically that. And then I wouldn't bother with the Dragon's Bane. Obviously, it doesn't apply to him because he's Electro and not Hydro or Pyro. And I wouldn't bother with the Lithic Spear for him. So realistically, his best alternatives to Scarlet Sands is going to be the Jade Spear and the Deathmatch for DPS. And then for if you're building him out to be like energy, like a secondary Raiden Shogun, then maybe like a Skyward Spine, the Catch, of course, Engulfing Lightning if you have extra one taking around, but I'm just assuming you don't. So that's why I'm saying Skyward Spine, because you can get this from a standard banner or losing 50-50, right? And then the Catch, yeah. And then, of course, having without those, then, of course, Favonius and Star Glitter would be your other options for energy. Yeah, so those are my picks for Cyno. If I was to get Cyno, with my guarantee before his phase 1 ends, I would just give him like I said, I'm gonna give him the Jade Spear. I'm just gonna either give him the second one here or just take the one from Xiao because I'm not using him right now anyway. And then I would be totally fine with that decision. I would even be okay with giving him a deathmatch, you know, and that's totally fine too because it's already leveled up, right? You know, so both options would be totally fine. But I'm leaning towards I might just take the Jade Spear and give that to Cyno, and then give Xiao my deathmatch, and that way I don't have to bother like leveling this one up and save the resources instead, right? You know, that's kind of my thing right now because we're at a point where we have more weapons than characters now, so we have these options available. So yeah, all right, so those are my choices. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and feel free to chat with me through Discord as well, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much.